just coming from Pennsylvania, I'm wondering, do you use a customized purchase agreement when you're purchasing directly from a homeowner? And is there anything unique that pops out? Because we're about to have our Pennsylvania contract, which was custom for us there, redone. And I'm just wondering, are there any things that stand out that we want to make sure we include, like we are upfront that we're investors and buying the, property for investment purposes? Just wondering if there's anything quirky.
Yeah, so I don't put in my contracts that I'm an investor, right? I don't. But I'd be very like when I did wholesaling, I'm like, hey, I am a wholesaler, meaning I am going to sell your property and people
Yes.
are going to walk through your property. Be very upfront and transparent because they're going to find out. Like,
Yes.
there are companies out there that say, no, my contractor is going to walk a property or my painter is going. No, it doesn't work. Just be upfront. Just be transparent. They're going to find out anyway, either at the closing table or somewhere. Right?
Yeah.
Now, the other thing that I have in there is I do have in there that that my contract is assignable, so I can assign it to somebody else. I do have in there that if the seller is not cooperating or giving me access to the property or whatever they are not doing, there is a $2,500 fee that I can charge to them, or that I put a lien against the property or a memorandum. You just want to cover your bases. When I have a contract to my buyers, there is a minimum of $3,000 or $5,000 security deposit, non-refundable. Now that is refundable if the seller is performing, but I cannot give clear title. They of course get their money back. Those are some of the things that pop out. There is, of course, a close. You always have to. You need to have the, of course, seller's name correctly. You need to have the buyer's name correctly. You need to have a closing time correctly. You need to have closing attorney correctly. But those are your standard thing. You probably already have in your contract. But I would just cover your bases. Yeah, like learn from what Grant just said. Like Grant is doing everything in the correct way. He's helping the sellers, trying to figure out how can we sell the house, who can sign, who cannot sign, but yet somebody's trying to cut him off. So put a contract in place for worst case scenarios, right? Like when I worked with my father, I was really ticked off that he made me sign an employee. I was an employee in his business and he made me sign a contract. I'm like, dude, I'm your freaking oldest son. Like, what are you doing? He goes, when you and I cannot look each other in the eye anymore, we're happy that we have this purchase, that we have this employment contract in place, because then both our rights are covered. And you gotta put a contract in place that acts as what happens in the worst case scenario.